Harry's Wife, part 96.21, How Far They Have Fallen. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Carrying on, of course, from the revelation about the Kardashian move that's being adopted by Harry and Harry's wife, the Daily Express has further comment in an article by Lauren Welch. As usual, I leave it for you to make a determination as to the veracity of the material. I simply provide you with the analysis. The Express reported a little while ago how far they've fallen. Prince Harry and Harry's wife's fly-on-the-wall show savaged. Prince Harry and Harry's wife's reported fly-on-the-wall Netflix docuseries has been dismantled by a GB News presenter. In 2020, just a few months after announcing their royal exit, Harry's wife and Prince Harry signed a $100 million deal with Netflix, residual benefit. The Sussexes are yet to create any content whatsoever, sense of entitlement, lack of accountability, for the streaming service, and one of the Duchess of Sussex's projects, Pearl, was scrapped only last month, thus causing wounding. They are now reported to be filming a docu-series with the streaming platform, with GB News presenter Patrick Christys dismantling the project and questioning how far they have fallen. Mr. Christys said, "Look, the money's great, and to be honest with you, I'd probably do absolutely anything for $100 million, but it's a sign of how far they have fallen." Certainly Harry, anyway. Ooh, little barbed observation there, Mr. Christys. If, of course, Harry's wife were to read this would be challenge fuel. It's really strange for a couple who wanted to find freedom and escape the public eye to sign up to be a show that essentially involved having a camera crew follow them around the whole time. Hypocrisy, and again another person noting this. He added, "It's almost like they don't want privacy." Well, actually, they do when it suits them. When Harry's wife bleats, "I want my privacy," and Harry nods as she yanks on the chain to ensure that he's compliant, that's done to assert control over people directly and then also by moving into a position of withdrawal. Then, demonstrating the sense of entitlement and hypocrisy of Harry's wife, if she then wants to turn up to the opening of an envelope, she can do, and she doesn't see there's anything wrong with that. She doesn't see the hypocrisy of her conduct, because her narcissism doesn't allow her to see it. Mr. Christys states, "It's almost like they just want to be rich and famous." Well, of course they do. Being rich and famous allows a narcissist the ability to assert control over people, the drawing of fuel from lots and lots of people, the ability to acquire character traits, and, of course, the residual benefit that comes with facade management, access to networks, power, and, of course, spondulix, moolah, dosh. The presenter continued, "They swapped the true high-caliber class of the royal family for plastic novelty fakery. And that's demonstrative of the type of narcissist that Harry's wife is. Her narcissism doesn't care that she'll get down and dirty in order to achieve whatever is necessary. The thing was," the article continues as well, "the British public really loved Harry, like really genuinely loved him," adding, "He has turned his back on that. That's as a consequence of his emotional thinking, causing him to believe that he was doing the right thing by protecting his wife from press intrusion, driven by her manipulation of him, his lack of general intellect, and, of course, the presence of emotional thinking." The presenter then listed a few of the couple's famous celebrity friends, such as James Corden, arsehole, and Oprah Winfrey, neither of whom are really their friends. He said, "Let's just see how long these people stick around for when things start to go south for Harry and Harry's wife." Mr. Christys compared the Sussexes to the high-profile US family, the Kardashians, adding, "Only arguably even less talented." And that's to say something, that whilst the Kardashians clearly have a nose for making money and putting on a show, they are hardly highbrow television, and therefore to be compared as to being lower than the Kardashians is certainly challenge fuel indeed. Mr. Christys stated that the Netflix series is going to be coming out in conjunction with Harry's tell-all memoir. Harry's forthcoming memoir book is due for release later this year. It is set to include past topics, such as his childhood and his time in the military, and more recent events such as his life as a husband and father, all portrayed by different coloured potato prints. At the time of the book announcement, Harry claimed, I'm writing this not as the prince I was born, but as the man I have become. That's right, isn't it, Harry's wife? That's what I meant to say. I've worn many hats over the years, including that of the SS, both literally and figuratively, and my hope is that in telling my story, the highs and lows, the mistakes, the lessons learned, I can help show that no matter where we come from, we have more in common than we think. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to share what I've learned over the course of my life so far, which is basically how to drink excessively, nail birds, run around a bit in the desert, and scowl. And I'm excited for people to read a first-hand account of my life that's accurate and wholly truthful in the sense of what my wife tells me to write. Netflix recently axed Harry's Wife series called Pearl in its move to cut costs. Nobody cared that was actually the case. This just shows another individual, and I could take a pick of many news articles whereby so many people have identified that this move as part of the downward spiral just emphasises the base nature of Harry's wife and how she continues to drag Prince Harry down with her. He can't see it. He's blinded by his own lack of experience. The fact that he has moved from what he perceived as a gilded prison into just another one, this time with a harpy attached. And of course, her narcissism will continue to cause her to stop at nothing to lay its hands on the prime aims. She has no shame. She has no accountability. In her world, the narcissism will be selling her, everybody wants to know about how you make your eggs in the morning. Everybody wants to know what colour toilet paper you have. Everybody wants to know what you are doing, what you have been doing, and what you will be doing. She, of course, is a legend in her own lunchtime, but her narcissism makes her believe that there are thousands, nay, millions of people around the planet. She's so self-absorbed, she truly believes that the world and its mother is interested in what she has to do and what she has to say. Of course, should this series ever make the light of day, there's huge temptation to utilise it for the purposes of explaining more. By that stage, though, we may be on part 307 of this series. Who knows? Or maybe it really is something that is best left alone. It remains to be seen, of course, whether there will be delivery on it. I suspect that there will, because Netflix, as identified, are going to want their pound of flesh. But it just demonstrates, as this individual has commented, how far Harry has fallen, and, in a sense, the same for Harry's wife. She was elevated into joining the royal family, gaining fame, wealth, acknowledgement, access to things she would never be able to go anywhere near. And she fucked it all up because her narcissism isn't up to the job of keeping her in situ. As I've mentioned before, she could have just buckled down and her narcissism adapt in this way to ensure that she enjoyed the trappings of that position. Sure, Harry would get a rough time of it as the intimate partner primary source in devaluation, but if her narcissism hadn't gone about trying to make her the Queen of the United Kingdom, and instead allowed her to harness and embrace the position that she'd been catapulted in, her narcissism would have done rather well out of it. Witness Crown Prince Haakon's wife in Norway, who is the narcissist I mentioned before, and how she has enmeshed within the royal family there, utilising the advantages that come with it, and, whilst there have been some behind-the-scenes dramas, nowhere near on the scale of Harry's wife, and she certainly hasn't broken away from the Norwegian royal family. Harry's wife has fucked it up. Her narcissism isn't up to the job of keeping her in situ, and it's now the downward spiral continuing. The point is, she can't see it. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.